right, I just saw it click to live. Let's see if I get the timing right this time. I've always been off by about 5 or 10 seconds on when it's actually live. I think I've got it this time. I think I saw it click to live, and that was it, and we're live right now. Hello everyone, welcome to the 4th live stream. I know things are a little different now. Almost nobody, maybe nobody, is still on lockdown from the pandemic, but of course there are still a lot of restrictions in place, and a lot of us are still working from home. Our kids are definitely home, although I suppose now that summer's here they would have been home anyway, but none of the kids are at camp or doing any of the things that they would normally do. So life is still different, and we're spending a lot more time in our homes. There are no large gatherings, that kind of thing. So the live streams continue. Who knows, maybe I'll keep doing them for the rest of time, although I will run out of COSMICITY material before that happens, that's for sure. I want to start right away with a song from my most recent release, which is a couple years ago now, but this song is called Let's Get Infected, and I think if you heard it fresh today and you'd never heard it before, you might think it was about the pandemic, but it is not. It's a coincidence. It is political. I'm always afraid to talk about politics in general in association with my music a little bit, because people get, everybody's got very polarized opinions, and even if you and I are generally on the same page about politics, you might think, oh, well, now I don't like his take on that issue, and it puts you off about me in general. So I'll try to talk about this song in general terms and not get too specific. Hi, Leonardo. And that way, hopefully I won't tick too many people off. But was also kind of the point. This song is called Let's Get Infected because it followed the election of Donald Trump, and I was kind of surprised that half the nation voted for a guy who we knew even at the time would make fun of the disabled and would sexually assault women. Right? We knew that. I mean, he's confessing it on tape. Whatever your political leanings, it was pretty clear he's not a great guy, right? He's not a moral, upstanding citizen. And so I wrote this song about people who were choosing to be ignorant a little bit, who were like, it's just easier to just get infected with the same thing that everybody else is doing and go along with it. So that's kind of what the song's actually about. Again, through today's lens, it could be about, hey, let's go get the coronavirus. It's not what it's about. I suppose it could be looked at that way, but that wasn't the intention. So without more babbling, here's a little of Let's Get Infected. taste of that song. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I've always liked that one. It's got a bit of an influence from the time when I was not working as COSMICITY, but under my own name for a few years there, just under Mark Nicholas. And I released 2 records under that name. And it's definitely not as gritty and industrial influenced as that stuff was, but I think the song "Let's Get Infected" wouldn't exist had I not gone through that period of time. It's got a bit of that sound to it. And on that note, I'm going to stick with the theme for a few more songs of politics and religion, as a little heavy at the top, but it's going to ease in after that. And I'm going to go into a song from that era. This next song is called Backlash, and Backlash is from the Duchess 33 album. And that was when I was purposely being controversial, because I had just had a fight with my former record label about what I was and was not allowed to do and release, and I kind of said, I'm over it, I'm going to release what I want. And so I was making a point of doing something that I knew that record label wouldn't have released. And this song speaks to that. It's about claiming moral superiority with a tinge of religious backing, and so that's a theme that's going to stick for these next couple songs. I just want to be clear that I'm not opposed to anyone's religious beliefs, support them. I'm just opposed to them being forced upon your neighbors, I guess, is my issue. I think we all make these choices for ourselves, and it's live and let live, right? So let's take a listen to Backlash, and then we'll listen to an alternate version of Backlash, which I think is pretty fun. So without further ado about that, here is Backlash from Duchess 33.
Down, you found me out, you pulled my hair, you made me shout obscenities at the top of my lungs, cause it's so damn fun, cause it's so damn fun. Now I, drowning in the things I said, have I lost you in the doubts I had? We backlash now, or offer some proof that the book you are quoting is absolute truth. I've taken more, though I had enough. I've bitten off heads, I've eaten my young. I've acted on instinct, though you said I had none. Am I rubbing you in just the wrong place? Did I blaspheme you with my lack of taste? Will you backlash now, or will you in fact reveal your mercy and leave me intact?
Which I really like. I really like that record. It's not very COSMICITY, right? It's a different style a bit. It's definitely a lot of distortion on the sounds there, and it's got a hard edge. But I think I was in the zone when I was recording that record in 2006 and 2007, and I'm not sure I've done anything quite as original as a lot of the music on that album since, which is kind of a sad thought, but also, you know, cool. I'm proud of it. Even though it was not particularly popular, I think it's really good. So I liked that song so much, and even that record so much, that the next year I did another version of it called Perversions, because, you know, I perverted the originals. And the Perversions is full of redone versions of songs from Duchess 33. And I did that song again in the style of an 8-bit video game, because I'd always wanted to do an 8-bit song, and I thought, why not? I think it'll work. And it came out pretty fun. I'm not sure it's something that you would jam to every day, but it's a cool alternate. So I'm gonna play that, and this is that.
Chased me down, you found me out, you pulled my hair, you made me shout, obscenities at the top of my lungs, 'cause it's so damn fun, 'cause it's so damn fun. Tell me in the things I said, lost you in the doubts I had, take back my smile, but I was on hold, but the picture I hold is unsafe. She held me so, I've taken more of her hand. I've been of her, I've beaten my gun, I've been on instant place.
So there is Backlash as an 8-bit track. I didn't want to play the whole thing, because cool as it is, I feel like it's like, oh, that's fun, and then I don't know if you need a whole song of it. Maybe I should have only done like a short version of that, but I'm glad I made it. I think it's cool. So I forgot to mention that the theme I was kind of going for, on today's show, I guess, is underappreciated songs. Maybe songs that weren't the most popular with listeners, but that I think are pretty cool. So that's what I'm picking through and finding. And on that note, I want to do something I don't usually do. If you have a request, I am open to it. I could cut one of these songs and slide in something that you guys want to hear, or that you think was underappreciated, that maybe I have a good story for. So feel free to suggest any ideas you have. I am seeing your comments. I should have mentioned that. Hi Jim, hi Akari, hi Eric, hi everybody who's listening. Thank you, Jim. Jim said he loved the album art back when we were doing Twice Daily, which I do too. Thank you, Jim. I just think Jamie always hits it out of the park, and I just thought this whole theme makes me so happy. I love the music video from this record. I was really excited about it when I thought of the theme. I couldn't wait to put it out. Little side story on that was that shortly before I released that record, maybe 4 months, 5 months, and I was already working on the video, there were billboards that popped up around town that looked a lot like that album cover, and I was like, oh my god, who is doing this? And they were really vague, and it wasn't clear what it was, and it turned out it was a promotion for Eminem's new album. And I almost scrapped the entire theme because I was like, well, if he's doing it, I'll just look like, 4 months later, I'll look like I copied him, even though, I'd been working on it for a year. And I always, in the back of my mind, wondered, because I had been showing some people, I've been showing some, my editor and director friends, what I've been working on, because I needed to get a music video shot and all of that. So the information was kind of out there, what I was doing, and Eminem is from Detroit. I'm from Detroit. It occurred to me that maybe some of the same people were aware of it and gave him the idea. I'll always wonder if maybe that's where that marketing scheme came from. But when his album came out and there was a full release, he didn't do a video. He didn't do that style on the album that he did from the billboards. It was just a promotional trick, and most people didn't see it. So I stayed the course, and I'm glad I did. Everything came out so great with the artwork for that, and the video as well. All right, one last thing from the Mark Nicholas era, and this one is special. This is a song I've never played before. It is, I guess you could argue, it's a B-side. It's a demo. I didn't record a full version of it, and I never released it. And it's called Disenchanted, and I'm just gonna play it. I think it's good. I'm kind of not positive why I cut it. I think it's pretty cool in retrospect. Maybe it should have been on the album. Maybe I just got tired and I'm like, I can't do a 12th track for that album. I don't know. But, you know, that's how it goes. You don't release them all. So here's Disenchanted. Enjoy.
Your words sputter in my ears. I cringe as your throat clears. You sit high upon some throne while you're up there all alone. And if you ever hobbled down, you'd see love is on the ground. If you'd meet us eye to eye, you might just gather why we're disenchanted, to say the least. We're disenchanted, to say the least. You're a believer. Well, you'd better believe that only God himself knows what he needs. You hide the truth behind a shield. You say the Lord wants to conceal, and he asks you to make the call. Well, I don't buy that shit at all. I think it's power that you throw. What's worse, I think you know, but you're afraid to stop it now. Break it down and you'll see how we're disenchanted, to say the least. We're disenchanted, to say the least.
All right, that's Disenchanted. Yeah, I really like that song. Maybe I cut it because, well, it can't be. I say the word shit in there, but I say a worse word on that record, so that can't be why. It's definitely it pushes my opinion a little bit about people who abuse religion, and maybe I thought that was too controversial. I'm not sure. And maybe you do too. Maybe you're listening going, hey man, what the hell? Hopefully not. But that's the end of the controversial tracks for today, at least as far as I know, unless you find love songs controversial, in which case you may be in for a long, wild ride. Hello, Hercules. Sarah requested Goodnight My Love from that era as a possible extra track to throw in. I might throw it in. It's not for everyone. Whenever I try to push that song on somebody, they're like, yeah, I don't know. But maybe we'll play it because it is supposed to be about tracks that were underappreciated, and that one certainly was underappreciated. Eric is saying Disenchanted sounds great. I should release it, especially digging the melody. Eric, I have to agree with you. I like it a lot too. I built it on a whole different system than I use now. I mean, it's over 13 years old. So recovering it wouldn't be the easiest, but I could try. I doubt it would ever quite sound the same. I don't even know if I have a couple of the synthesizers I used, but I like it a lot too. I'm bummed I didn't release it. And Henry is asking if Still from ASCII Cupcake was popular. If not, please play. It actually wasn't that popular. ASCII Cupcake in general was not popular. So that is another good one. And that one there is a music video for. So I thought it was going to be popular, obviously, or I wouldn't have made a video. But so that might be another good suggestion. I like both of those suggestions so far. Keeping them in mind, I might slug them in here in a little bit. Next up, though, I'm going to do a song called Violet. And Violet is a very personal song. It's a tricky subject. At the time, I don't know how, I don't want to go into it too much. I have a special needs daughter. My daughter is severely disabled. She has a very rare non-inherited genetic disorder, meaning it wasn't passed by her mother or myself to her. It's just a random genetic mutation, and it affects her globally. She started having seizures before she was 2 months old. She has been developmentally stunted, and she's almost 12. She's about to turn 12 now, but developmentally, she's still definitely under 1 years old, more or less a baby. She has some skills that are, better than an infant, but she needs assistance to take steps. She's still in diapers. She still has seizures, although we found a way to keep them from being bad all of the time. They still come. We feed her like a baby. She still drinks a formula and some soft foods. So it's serious. And I always thought that it might help. She might thrive. And this is one of the reasons. She might thrive if she had a sibling. And I just always wanted 2 kids. I wanted another kid. And my now ex, but my wife at the time did not. And I was always sort of trying to get her to feel how I felt, and which you cannot make someone do. But I would try because I just had this. I had almost a chemical urge. I was like, I need another child. It seems like the right thing to do. I just thought that a sibling would be good for Zoe, and I thought that both my ex and I were, it takes a toll on you when you have a child that, where you had all these expectations, right? You got the 9 months of pregnancy, and you're thinking, oh, what are they going to do? Someday they're going to grow up, and we're going to have grandkids, and then we're going to be at their wedding and their high school graduation, and what will they become? Will they be an astronaut? Will they be whatever? And so when you realize you have to go through some mourning, it's tough, it's emotionally difficult. And I always thought that it would be healthy, especially when I looked at other parents who had special needs children like ours. I thought it would be healthy for all of us if we had those experiences as well. Having my daughter is an awesome special experience. I don't love that she suffers seizures and that she has reflux and she has pain, but she's awesome. She's so cool and so innocent and so sweet all the time, and just knows nothing but love, which is just unbelievable to kind of experience all the time. So I guess I want to be clear that it was nothing. It wasn't that I wasn't fulfilled with my daughter. I very much am. I just thought there was another experience. So Violet, getting back to the start, is about that. Violet is me going, hey, I know you're out there as a possibility, and I haven't given up hope. That's what the song was about. It was kind of a song to the possible second child, Violet. So that's all. It's kind of heavy. I imagine most people probably don't listen to the song that way. That I think if you didn't know that story, you would think this song was me longing for a girl I haven't met named Violet, right? In a romantic way, but of course, and it could be viewed through that lens and it would work, but it's not. So I'm going to play a little bit of Violet, and then I'm going to play a surprise version of Violet. So let's start with the original, and this is from Humans May Safely Graze. Like all of the album covers, another great one from Jamie Latendresse. I just love all the humans being herded. I think that's amazing. Um, I have this image framed on my wall. I just think it's so cool. All right, here we go with Violet.
Violet, I want to love you. I would hold on to your every word. Oh, Violet, I know you're waiting, but our chance is fading. Please just hold on. You're dancing through my eyes all night. There is no better trick of light. You guide my days, but we have yet to meet. Framed by locks of auburn hair, your universe without despair. Where black and white will go to meet their end. My thoughts are treason. I've lost all reason. I need you here. Violet, I'll do my part. I'll break her heart to set you free. With every beat and every breath, I wonder how I haven't found you. Yet there is so much here in the way. A few more months, perhaps a year, a few more breakdowns, then we're clear. Your pixels will combine to shift the world.
So, that is Violet, the closing track from Humans May Safely Graze. Now, there is a story behind the recording of that song. So I had finished it. I had sent it off to Abbey Road, who did the mastering for Humans May Safely Graze. It was my first time using a giant mastering facility. I've always used pretty good mastering engineers, of course. Quick backup. What's mastering? When you see a music video and you see, especially hip hop videos, and you see people with the giant mixing board, it's not that. I think people think mastering is like, oh, it's putting all the sounds together. That's mixing. So I do everything for Cosmicity myself, with the exception of the very last step, which is mastering. So think of it as the song is already mixed. It's all together. It's Disenchanted, for example, that we listened to right before this. That was mixed roughly, but still by me. And then I would take something like that and I would send it off to the mastering engineer. And think of it like putting a sheen or a polish on the whole thing. That's what mastering engineers do. They originally, I think, mastering engineers came along because people would submit all these songs for an album and they would all be recorded a little differently. Sometimes they'd be recorded in different places, and somebody had to balance the levels between the different songs so it would be consistent when you listen to the whole record. Everything would sound like it's at the same loudness and the same clarity, and it evolved into this kind of voodoo where they have all these tricks and special boxes that make everything sound just a little bit more shimmery and everything has a little bit more punch, and that's what a mastering engineer does. So I wanted a great mastering engineer on this record because I was proud of it, so I hired Abbey Road, even though it's expensive. And when I sent all these songs in, the mastering engineer reviewed them all, and he's like, "Look, man, these sound really good, but that last track just doesn't sound quite as good as the others. It's a little bit of a dull sound. It doesn't quite have the punch. I don't think I can get it up to the other 10 songs. This was Violet." So I didn't have much time, right? I had a release date. I couldn't really hold it up. He's like, "I'm probably not going to do this until Monday anyway." This was on a Friday. He's like, "Take the weekend if you want to try to polish it up." So I took a day and I tried to make it brighter and better, and I couldn't fix the mix. I could not get it to sound right. And then on Sunday, it occurred to me that I could just gut it and redo it, gutsy as that is, and hand a different track in on Monday, a different version, and that's what I did. So the version you hear on the album was a redo that I did in one day before the mastering was done, and then this shipped out. And I'm going to play you the version before he had done a test master already. So I'm going to play you the version that he didn't reject, but he said, "I don't know if you should use this." And so not only is it different mastering, which is you wouldn't hear that well because it's going to be subtle over a compressed live stream that you're listening to, but I changed the song. Not only did I change the drums and things like that, I actually changed the time signature, which I've never done before. Certainly not the day before I release something. There's a triple meter going on in Violet that you just heard. Da 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 da. 1 2 3 1 2 3. In this version I'm about to play you, it's actually 4/4 in those sections. It's not a triple meter. I made that change at the last minute. It was a bit of a crazy experience. I think it was the right choice, but I actually don't think this version is wrong either. Like he said, it lacks polish, it lacks punch, but I think it works still. So I'm going to play you the full alternate version of Violet in 4/4 time, and hope you enjoy it.
I want to love you. I would hold on to your every word. Oh, Violet, I know you're waiting, but our chance is fading. Please just hold on. You're dancing through my eyes all night. There is no better trick of light. You guide my days, but we have yet to meet. Framed by locks of auburn hair, your universe without despair, where black and white will go to meet their end. Are treason. I've lost all reason. I need you here. Violet, I'll do my part. I'll break her heart to set you free. With every beat and every breath, I wonder how I haven't found you, yet there is so much here in the way.
Um, that was the 4/4 version of Violet. I'm sure you guys could hear the difference. Obviously, it started similarly with the strings, but then once the beat kicks in, it's a totally different feel. And I put in those little chimey bells at the beginning and end because I knew it would be the last track on the album, and I thought that'd be kind of nice. And then decided to cut them on that Sunday when I redid the song. But yeah, totally redid it. Um, I see. I see. Talina, hi. How are you? Talking about how Violet takes on a whole new meaning, knowing the story behind it. It does. I hope it doesn't ruin it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Um, the I lost my thought. Oh, when you reveal the stories behind the songs, you run the risk of ruining them for other people because if you've fallen in love with it, hearing it one way and it means this to you, and now you hear this other thing and it's like, it always connected with this part of me, and that's not what he meant. It can actually be destructive. So hopefully that wasn't the case for you with that song. Sometimes it can enhance it. Of course, I love hearing the stories behind people's songs. I always think that I feel more connected to them when I know the history. So that's why I do it. But everybody feels a little differently. Eric's saying some very nice things about that mix. So he agrees that the last minute change was a good one. I do too. Yeah, just a little bit better. So, hooray for a mastering engineer that's willing to tell you, I suppose. All right, we had some requests. I'm going to play one now. There's a request. Who requested Still? Where was that? I'm scrolling back. That was Henry. I'm going to play Still. This is from ASCII Cupcake. It ties in a little bit to what I was talking about earlier with my daughter. ASCII Cupcake, I've mentioned it before. The whole entire EP is songs from when she was first diagnosed and she was in the hospital a lot. Things were particularly bad. It was just it's what got me back into COSMICITY, actually, and it was my first record recording on a laptop. And I thought I was done with music, but it brought me back because I needed a way. I needed an outlet. I needed something to talk about what was going on. So that's what ASCII Cupcake is. It's 5 songs about Zoe. And still, though, I was singing to my now ex-wife, who, at the time I was kind of, it was that sort of thing takes a toll on a marriage, as you can imagine. And I was kind of saying, hey, we can make it through this. That's what Still is about. Ultimately we didn't. I don't look at that as necessarily a failure, and I don't necessarily look at that as it was caused by my daughter, actually. You could look at it that way. It puts on pressures, but I think maybe sometimes people just evolve over time and realize, that they're not going to be together forever. I have to say we remain friends. I think I've talked about this before, in a way that most people cannot after a marriage ends, and that's a really good thing. It makes taking care of Zoe really good, really smooth, and it's great not to have like the divorce anger between two people. And she even listens to these streams and plays them for my daughter. I do them on a day when that's why it's every other Saturday. It's a day when she has my daughter, so that I don't have to be taking care of her, and I can pay attention to you guys, and that's a cool thing. And I also want to say my current girlfriend Patricia also listens to these streams, and there has been no issues, no tension. There's nothing. It's really cool. I'm really grateful for like the great people in my life. Patricia is wonderful and has been so understanding that Zoe's mom has to be a part of life because that's what it is to care for a special needs child. And Sarah's been totally accepting of Patricia, and they listen and comment both together. It's really awesome. It's impressive. And Patricia is having surgery on Tuesday. If all things go smoothly, meaning no you got to get a COVID test and all that stuff before you go for surgery, and there's a lot of scheduling that has to be done before a surgery. It all has to fall into place. But assuming it all goes along, she's going to have it on Tuesday. She's very nervous, so I just wanted to, have everybody send her a lot of positive energy. It's not a major surgery. It is, well, it is and it isn't. It's not a life-threatening surgery. She has a torn rotator cuff, but all surgeries are scary, especially in the time of COVID, and it's a long, kind of painful recovery from that surgery. So everybody send her good vibes, and I will get on with playing this song that was requested that I was talking about. I'm sorry I got off track for a second there. Without further ado, here is a listen to the song, Still.
I know this is not the life we planned. I know this is hard to comprehend, but you love me still. I know that you love me still. I know you do. Sometimes it feels like we're in glue. Feels like we're in glue. Stuck here with nothing left to do. Nothing left. But you love me still. I know that you love me still. I know you sometimes wonder how we even go on. Life's simple when you think about it, so maybe let's not think about it. You might just think that your decision was wrong, but in your heart you know this was the only road. I know, your strength is all but gone. I know, it's been dark for way too long. But you love me still. I know that you love me. I know that you love me still.
Sorry about bumping the volume button there. Apologies, everybody. So there was a little bit of the song Still from ASCII Cupcake, which I don't have handy to show you because I wasn't planning on playing it, but it's fun to take requests. I'm glad we did that. All right, now, what did I have up next? I was going to play a song that I've always liked called The Introvert. This is from The Binary Language of Love, and it was also on, subsequently, resynthesized in a different form. I do enjoy redoing songs immediately after I finish them, which is what I did in this case, right? I knew that the recordings for the Binary Language of Love weren't all perfect, and I thought, hey, let's take another crack at them. I look back now and I go, the recordings for resynthesized really aren't that much better. I was still getting the hang of it, the home recording thing. I got much better by the next release, which I believe was Pure. I think things got good. That's when I got I got a handle on home recording, and I got better at it. But The Introvert, I had a little help recording that song. The vocals in particular were recorded by my friend Steve Schultes, who a lot of you might know or recognize because when I did live shows, he was always with me. He's been a great partner to Cosmicity over the years. He was better and continues to be better at recording than me. He had a studio before I did, so I recorded the vocals for a few of these at his house, and it helped. So the Introvert sounds pretty good, especially compared to some of the other songs on that album. So we're going to take a listen to that, and then we'll listen to just a short bit of that, and then we'll listen to a short bit of the remake, which is totally different. Took a ballad, made it a dance song. It's always fun to hear those back to back. So let's do a little bit of that. Here is the Introvert from the Binary Language of Love.
I won't dare say a word to anyone. I won't even hint just a little. I'll completely contain my excitement. I'll keep my demeanor right in the middle. I'll hide my every last feeling. I won't let this go. No one can know. I close my eyes to think of you softly. I love you from deepest within. My heart knows that this is forever, but nobody else will understand. I won't smile as I read your message. I won't shiver as I think of your touch. I won't stare off into space with that look on my face. I'll keep all this love to myself. I'll hide my every last feeling. I won't let this go. No one can know. I close my eyes to think of you softly. I love you from deepest within. My heart knows that this is forever, but nobody else will understand. Oh, please don't tell me the world knows love. I've seen the uncompromised perspective. This happiness is staying just between us.
Of the Introvert. I really like that one, and it was never like massively popular. There's definitely some people who love it, but it never like took off. But ballads almost never do, with rare exception. But people always like it a little bit more up-tempo, which is why there's an up-tempo version of this song. I thought I'd give it another try. Didn't really fare any better as an up-tempo version. This, even though this is kind of, it's at a dancey tempo. I don't know if it's not exactly a club stomper. You wouldn't go to the club and hear this one raging, but it's fun, and I dance to it, and you can too. Here is the Introvert dance mix from Resynthesized.
I won't dare say a word to anyone. I won't even hint just a little. I'll completely contain my excitement. I'll keep my demeanor right in the middle. I'll hide my every last feeling. I won't let this go. No one can know. I won't smile as I read your message. I won't shiver as I think of your touch. I won't stare off into space with that look on my face. I'll keep all this love to myself. I'll hide my every last feeling. I won't let this go. No one can know. I close my eyes to think of you softly. I love you from deepest within. My heart knows that this is forever, but nobody else will understand. Oh, please don't tell me the world knows love. I've seen the uncompromised perspective. This happiness is staying just between us.
So there you go. A little bit of the introvert to a dance beat, or as Diana reminded me, it's a banger. It's a banger. No, probably not. It could be. We could probably remake it further and make it a banger by really upping that beat. But I didn't. It's kind of. I would say it's more of a bouncer. Is it a bouncer? That doesn't sound good. Okay. Next up, we're gonna stick with ballads. We're gonna do one more underappreciated ballad. This song is popular as ballads go, but it was not popular from this record in particular. And the reason I think it would have been, could have been, there was. I'm gonna try to remember the name of this website. There was, it was like the 77, the 66, the 86. It had a number in it. There was a website some years ago where you could artists could put their songs, and it would you would put them up for the public to listen to, and people would either vote them up or not. And if your song got over a certain threshold in votes, it would get put on the front page, which would then of course make it get 1 million votes, because most people would just go to the homepage of this site and just listen to the songs that had already been voted up, so they could discover new cool songs that had already kind of been vetted by the crowd. It was kind of crowdsourcing the next hit, if you will. I got a warning just now from Facebook that I was playing stuff that I shouldn't be playing, but of course everything I played is mine. So it's my own content warning me. It's very irritating. Sorry. So anyway, that website, I put up a lot of Cosmicity songs, and this was like 2008 or so I put up Mark Nicholas songs too. And only a few of them got to the homepage, and one of them, probably the one that got the furthest, was this song, Let Me In, from Pure. So even though this wasn't a particularly popular song with Cosmicity fans necessarily, nobody hated it, but nobody freaked out for it, it did really well with arguably the general public, or at least the general public who would go to a website and spend time voting and vetting new songs that should be heard. So I think that that always gave me a boost about that track. Okay, I had a good one there. So I'm going to play that, and then I'm going to play an alternate version of that song. But here's a little bit of Let Me In from the album Pure. All right. Oh, no it's not. Whoops. Sorry. Hadn't changed songs yet. Here we go.
Fell down between your hands.
So just let me in. I want to love you. Unfold your arms, and I will come through. Unclench your fists, release your fear. We're together now. We're together now, and I'm forever here. Please don't remember ways you want to forget. Please surrender days you now regret. Please don't remember ways you want to forget. Please surrender days you now regret. Just let me in. I want to love you. Unfold your
So there was some Let Me In, most of Let Me In, really. And I forgot to mention what that song was about. I wrote that song. Pure is on the cusp of two relationships. I wrote most of it before I met Sarah, who I would eventually marry. But I was still dating a girl named Karamia when I wrote that song. And she, she and I, I think I've talked about this before. We weren't really. I don't think we were meant to be together. And she wasn't always easy to to get to open up and to talk when she was struggling with things. And so that song is just I think it's got a really nice universal theme to it, because I think everybody's been in a situation where they want to be closer to someone, they want to help, but they're being kept at bay. So I feel like it's one of those songs that everyone can connect to. We've all felt that way about someone in our life at one point or another. I saw some great comments. Eric says that all ballads should have to come with a cool dance mix like The Introvert. I'd like to see that for Let Me In. Somebody do it, because I don't want to. I don't have time. Let's see. What else? Diana is asking about if I've ever looked at the ranking for top Cosmicity songs on Spotify and other platforms. I have. They're always a little bit unusual. I think that's because of playlisting, for one, and then I think compilations help promote a song and make it more popular, and some things like that. So, for example, number one on Apple every single week is "Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy," my instrumental version of the song from the Nutcracker. Every single week, not just in the holidays. Always it's number one, but in the holidays it goes way up, and I think that's because it's on playlists, and I think because it's on playlists, more people have downloaded it. They're playing it out of their libraries, and then Apple Music is registering that, so that's always number one on there. So things like that can happen. I don't think it's necessarily the most popular Cosmicity song, but because it's an instrumental that's easily passed around on Christmas playlists, in some ways maybe it is the most popular Cosmicity song. But yeah, Diana mentions "Block, Block, Block," which is one of the cover songs I've done. I did a long time ago. It's actually on Resynthesized that we talked about earlier, as well as a cover of "Hold Me Now" by Thompson Twins. "Block, Block, Block," if you don't know, is a cover of an OMD song, and it's often in the top 5 on certain playlists on Spotify, and I think that's because it's on a couple of compilations, and I think that when people listen to those compilations, it pushes that song up even more than kind of other listens. So that's how that happens. All right, I meant to do this back to back. So there's another version of Let Me In out there. It's sort of the opposite of what Eric asked for. He always wants there to be a club mix of every song. This is the polar opposite of that. This is an unmix that Color Theory did. They're another synth-pop band that I've been friendly with for a long time, since almost the start of Cosmicity. But he's a classical piano player by training. I am not. So he did a piano stripped down rendition where it's just my vocal and piano, and then he sang some backing vocals. He commented on this years later. He's like, I listened to that mix and the piano's too loud, and my backing vocal is too loud. He's right. My voice is too quiet. His voice is too loud. The piano's, but it's still fun to hear it stripped down it's very basics, just piano and voice. So I'm going to play a little bit of that, and then we'll move on to another, and we'll have to wrap it up. We're running out of time.
I saw you staring at your horoscope, lost and disappointed in the day. My instinct was to hold you, but I knew that you would just turn away. I watched you as your head fell down between your hands. Helplessly I heard you mourning all of life's demands. Just let me in, I want to love you. Unfold your arms and I will come through. Unclench your fist, release your fear. We're together now, and I'm forever here. Weeks go by without a real moment. Words have no volume anymore. And I see you hiding shame. It's far too much to just ignore. But you won't look into my eyes to see the truth they hold. Being here outside of you is so cold. Just let me in, I want to love you. Unfold your arms and I will come through. Unclench your fist, release your fear. We're together now. We're together now. I'm forever here.
All right, running out of time, so I'm going to fade that one out. I don't want to keep you guys here all day. It's awesome how you hang in. It's amazing that you guys stay tuned in and engaged for the whole time that I'm doing this. I really appreciate it. It's so fun to see the comments come in. I love Eric's Let Me In, Brian Hazard hijacked mix. Brian Hazard is the name of the guy behind Color Theory. I think that's very funny. I think you'd love it too. Talina saying that's a lovely version. Thank you. There's a talk about, do I make a lot of money from my cover of A Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy? And the fact of the matter is no, because half of the royalties that you collect when things are streamed, and the royalties are super limited. Let me start there. Like, I think it takes 130 plays of a song on Spotify to get, what was it, to get like a penny? I'm trying to remember what the translation is. It's crazy. So there's not a lot of money that comes. But even if I was getting, like tens of thousands of plays of Dance to the Sugar Plum Fairy, the amount that I get from that would be cut in half because I didn't compose it, right? As the composer, you get half, and then as the performer, you get half. It's not my composition. It's public domain. It's Tchaikovsky who did that song. Yeah, so yes, I make a little money, but not really much from that. No, those are for the love of it. I don't think it registers as much. All right, there were some really good requests that I'm not going to get to. Good Night, My Love was requested by Sarah. I'm going to play that another day. Same with Defeat. Somebody asked for Defeat. I'll play that another day. I'm trying to. I can't remember. There might have been another. I will try to get to them all next time. I am going to end with a song that I have queued up though, because I want to bring it up. I don't want. I don't want to leave it down low. Right. We'll end on a fun note. I'll play a faster one. Okay, and this song is called. This is a cover song that I did, and I did it for. Oh, I forgot to show. Sorry, that last song that you heard, the unmix of "Let Me In." It's from the Pure Sessions Volume 3. There are 3 CD singles that came out of the Pure album that were called Pure Sessions, and they all have variations on the album cover. So if you go looking for that, that's where it is. Okay, the next song is a cover that I did. It's from sticking with the Mark Nicholas theme for today, and we're playing a lot of songs from that era. This was from that era. It's the very last song I ever did under the Mark Nicholas name. I originally created it for the very last live show that I ever did, and when I did that last live show, I declared it my last live show. I told everyone it would be my last live show. In my heart of hearts, I didn't think it would be, because I'd said that I was done with music before and come back to it. I thought, well, eventually, maybe when my daughter's older,